as well?
All bikes are fully assembled and lifetime warranty on the frames and 1 year free adjustments.
All right, John Green from Cycle Center. Thank you very much.
Brookland-Cayce High School, JRTC drill team.
Thank you, everybody. We are back live at Brookland-Cayce High School. Thank you for coming out to the Team Forum Show. This segment brought to you by Grecian Gardens on 378 here in Columbia. Check out their authentic Greek cuisine and delicious pizza. I recommend the Grecian Gardens Supreme as well as the vegetable beef soup. Absolutely delicious. Also, their bread is warm every day, and I can't get enough of it. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, we left off our discussion talking about privacy, privacy of politicians, privacy of celebrities, and where does you draw that line? If you've got the paparazzi following you like Princess Diana, do you forfeit your right to privacy here in the United States? I want to get to Homa Hassan because she hasn't had a chance to get on much on Mic 4 here. Homa, my question to you is, we want to hear about politicians and we want to hear about every little thing they do because obviously they might represent us in the future, but don't they also have the right to privacy?
Dan, you're exactly right, and I'm so glad you brought up Princess Diana because that is exactly where I was going to go. If you haven't seen the new movie, The Queen, it pretty much talks about that. Princess Diana was a public figure, and she begged the paparazzi to leave her alone. She begged to have her privacy, and they didn't listen, and look what happened to her. She was killed as a result of that. That's something that I think we need to address. Yes, public officials, we do need to know what's going on in their lives, but there is a limit to that. There's a limit to hounding people to finding out about their personal lives. We don't need to know everything in their personal lives because what they do in their own personal time isn't going to affect us. If it is, that's when we need to care.
Homa, I mean, I agree with you. Princess Diana, her accident leading, when she passed away, that obviously is unfortunate, and that everything can be taken to the extreme. That was one case where paparazzi or people of paparazzi got taken to the extreme. But, I mean, to be completely honest, I read People magazine pretty religiously, and I mean, as much as we're going to say we don't care, a lot of us, we do care. We're going to read. We want to know what Paris Hilton wore last night. We want to know who she went out and danced with. I mean, it sounds really sad, but a lot of us do really want to know, especially us girls here in high school. And I mean, if they want to be out and be celebrities, like Dante said, if we're going to pay them to do that, then I think that, it doesn't need to be taken to that extreme, but they can, put a couple of pictures of the people. I don't think they'll mind that much.
Well, I know what you mean. Like, that's just like saying with politicians, you do want to know, like, what they're doing, what they're saying, You do want to know those kinds of things, so that's really important. I mean, they are a politician. That's their job, is to talk for you. And that's kind of a ridiculous job when you really think about it to the basic. I mean, their job is to talk for you, so you better know what they're saying. But at the same time, like, what they did in their past, that's a completely different thing. Like, yes, we were talking about, like, Bill Clinton, and he smoked marijuana, but he smoked it when it wasn't illegal. Like, yes, it's a bad thing now. If politicians are smoking marijuana now, that's a serious problem because that is illegal. But it wasn't illegal then. So, like, what are you going to accuse him of, doing something that he made illegal after he did it, so now he gets in trouble? I mean, sometimes you have to realize some of the things that you're saying and how ridiculous they are, because there was a time, and some of the things in the past, I mean, they just don't matter that much.
Well, Deanna, I guess you could say that it was legal at the time that President Clinton did it, but we're going to go out to the audience with Vivica Trucka. She's got another interview from Brookland-Cayce High School. Take it away.
Melissa, you had a comment for Dante about something he said earlier? Yes. Dante mentioned earlier, if you don't want your privacy looked into, then go to Mexico or Canada. Well, I shouldn't have to leave my own country just to go somewhere else so my privacy can be protected or whatever. You shouldn't have to leave our own place. We should be able to stay here and not have our privacy looked into, even though I don't have nothing to hide.
What would you rather have, your privacy or your life? Your life, right? And that's what your privacy, that's what invasion, quote unquote, because they're not really...
Not leave our own country just because you know, I don't have nothing to hide.
I'm not necessarily telling you to leave your country, but I don't think that it's fair. I'm not saying, hey, if you don't like your privacy being invaded, leave the country, because there's cameras all over you wherever you go. Hello, satellites. So I think that you're never really going to escape it, but it's an invasion of your privacy, and it's to protect your life. So if you want to get blown up, fine, get blown up somewhere else, but we're not going to let you get blown up here. Therefore, we're going to take the extra precautions. I'm sorry.
Okay, but Dante, I think regardless of if you're a public official or if you're just a high school student on the street, you don't have much of a life if everything you're doing is being watched. And that goes for public officials. They need their downtime too. They are here to serve you, but they also need their sense of privacy. As a citizen in the country, you should be entitled to that too. If you're saying you should get up and leave, well, that's not much of a life.
You know, Dante, I wonder what your comments would sound like with a German accent and a little mustache. Because if you're not careful, that's where you're going to go. You're going to take this to the extreme one day, and you're going to say, would you rather have your privacy or your life? And people, yes, are going to say, I'd rather have my life. But what kind of life are we talking about here? We're talking about quality of life. And, you know, the Hitler definitely ruined people's qualities of life. I mean, it just, I don't know. It bugs me when people talk about wanting security when they don't understand that they're going to have to take away a little bit of their civil liberties. But there's a fine line between taking away a little bit of your civil liberties in order to walk down the street safely and having you surveilled 24/7.
Let's talk about walking down the street safely. The one thing with invasion of privacy that we haven't really harped on yet are security cameras. What about security cameras in your city, security cameras in your school? These cameras cost thousands of dollars to be installed in your school, and yet a camera can't break up a fight. A camera can't stop a drug deal. A camera cannot stop an old woman from being mugged in an alleyway. And yet, for some reason, all around the country, we're having cities and schools, local and federal governments installing these $1,000 systems and eliminating what would usually be a security guard's job. Eliminating what would usually be a police officer's job. Why are we throwing money at machines in the name of security when they can't actually prevent crime? Is there anything you've got to say about that, Dante?
Yes. Don't call me Hitler. I'm just trying to protect you. Believe me. Like, I'm not going to gas anyone, I promise. I just think that these cameras are put there for a reason. If an old lady gets mugged, guess what that camera's going to do? It's going to find that guy, and that guy's probably going to get beat up in jail. Like, these cameras are there for a reason. They're there to catch and have evidence for you just in case something does happen. It doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, we want to be able to protect the people of America. Just like we want to protect the people of America. We're not trying to take away all your privacy. We're only trying to take away a little bit that's going to help, and from the people that it actually matters from. Not you, who's not going to blow up a building anytime in your life. Not you, who's going to build a stick of dynamite, though that would be quite interesting. I just think that we should protect all the people in America in any way we can, but not go to the extremes. I'm not Hitler.
If you want to know more about your constitutional right to privacy, check out the American Constitution. But if you want to know more about the Teen Forum Show and this broadcast, go to teenforumshow.com. I'd like to thank BC High School for having us this afternoon, Savvy Formal Wear, as well as Cycle Center at cyclecenter.com, and Grecian Gardens, who's providing food for this broadcast. Can we get a big round of applause for Grecian Gardens?